Welcome again to my Realtor Hat series. I am Tanya Cunningham with Tanya Homes Group, and this is a topic that a lot of people don't even want to consider talking about, and that's life insurance. And yet, it is so important. So today, we are going to be talking with Lina Solano-Ramirez, and Lina is going to shed some light on life insurance and why it's important, and you get to understand and hear a little bit of something that you didn't know, and maybe make a decision that you weren't going to make, ultimately. So sit back, relax, enjoy, and as usual, we hope that this is something that will be of value to you. Hi, Lina.
Hi, Tanya.
It's so great to have you here. Thank you so much for coming. I am looking forward to this conversation.
Thank you for having me. I'm so honored.
Oh, the honor is mine, really, truly. And the thing that I want to just jump right into is I want to talk about life insurance because it seems to be such a taboo subject, but it's so important. And I want to know, based on your experience, why do you think people hesitate so much to buy life insurance?
Yeah, it is a sensitive subject, I will say.
Yes.
Definitely people don't want to think about dying or even, you know, buying life insurance is kind of like a superstition that people can have.
Mm-hmm.
But mainly I think people hesitate to buy life insurance because they are uninformed or lack of
Mm-hmm.
education, if we want to call it like that. But basically, that will include like how much insurance or face amount would I need. Um, it might be too expensive. How do I go about it? Like we just don't go around to it.
Yeah,
Never get
yeah.
around to it.
And I get that, sometimes when you're unaware of something or you're ignorant about a subject and you instead of leaning in, you run away from it. And
Exactly.
yeah, and this is definitely a subject that everyone should lean into because it's so important, right?
Correct. Correct.
Yeah. So who do you think? I know really everybody should have life insurance, but based on what you experience, who are the people who really should have life insurance as the top priority?
Yeah. So, well, definitely many people need life insurance in
Yeah.
general, right? But I would say, especially anyone who is financially responsible for someone else,
Yes.
definitely the people that need the most life
Mm,
insurance. And of course, that includes married couples because they are both working and, they depend on each other's income, especially if they have children, married
mhm.
couples with kids. Of course, they will need life insurance if you just buy a house or have a mortgage, if you have any kind of debt that you need to pay off. If God forbid something happens to a breadwinner, that policy is for that, exactly, like income replacement.
Yeah.
And business owners, if they depend on each other's income for the business to run, definitely.
That's really important. I mean, business owners probably don't even think about that sometimes when when there's a partnership in the business, and if one who's really crucial to the business passes away, right? That
Yep,
it's good to have something in place so that the business can still continue.
definitely.
Wow, that's really good to think about. So having said that, I can say that I'm a single mom, as you know, and because of you, I have a really great policy. And my daughter, I want to make sure she's taken care of. Do I want to think about leaving her?
Of course
No,
not.
but yeah, I know it's inevitable, and I know that I want to make sure that should it happen, especially while she's this young, I want to make sure she's protected, and my mom as well. So I definitely see the importance as being a breadwinner, as you said, to have that in place. So thank you for
Definitely.
sharing that.
Yep.
And I think that that goes to let me ask you, I'm sure you've seen or heard or experienced yourself stories of when life insurance has made a difference in a family's life because the survivor did the right thing and left had a policy, and then where it really had an impact on a family because there was no life insurance. Can you share with us any story like that?
Yeah, definitely. I have so many stories, but the ones that I will have definitely highlight is the two cases, right? So it's
Mm.
one that definitely touch home really close, and is the one that definitely, if she had life insurance, it would have made a huge difference in the lives of her children. And it's the story of my husband's cousin.
Oh.
Unfortunately, during COVID, 2020, she got COVID and she didn't make it. She passed away within weeks of having COVID. 36 years old, very young, with
Wow.
3 children. And I remember sitting with her and going over, everything that we learned. We were so excited back then. And we obviously share everything that we learned about life insurance with family members. And I remember that she basically said, thank you so much for educating me, but I definitely think I'm okay. I have a policy through work. She worked for the school board,
Mm-hmm.
and they have the group policy, and we were like, okay, there's nothing we can force about it, right?
Of
So
course.
um, that was okay. And then when she died in June 2020, her ex-husband, because she divorced, and her ex-husband, who happens to be a drug addict, was the beneficiary in that group policy that she had through work. And because of that, they paid the policy, the death benefit, to the ex-husband.
Oh.
And that was so unfortunate because the kids were left without home, without nothing. And her mom, now that is taking care of her children, had to raise money. We were able to raise close to $30,000 in GoFundMe
Oh.
to obviously pay for funeral expenses and give to her children. But that was an unfortunate situation that the whole family had to go through because of not having the proper
Oh
protection.
my gosh, my heart goes out to your family and those kids and her mom. I mean,
Yeah.
what an impact.
That's when we definitely see the differences. And on the other hand, the other story that I can take, I recently saw the video because of the celebration of 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
It's a testimony that we have in Primerica online system, where we had a client, an agent had a client that passed away during 9/11. But the story goes like the agent talking and saying that night was a new agent,
Mm-hmm.
sat down with the family, and the dad didn't want, the dad wanted the policy. The mom didn't want it because she saw it as another bill,
Another.
another thing to pay. Like,
Yeah.
we just don't have the money. And so between the agent and the husband convinced her to write that policy. And back then, it was paper application. So it's not like we just, nowadays, we submit everything online and goes
Mm-hmm.
to a home office. So that paper application was supposed to get to the office that night. And that night was 9/11. That happened that night. So after, of course, the whole tragedy and the family lost the dad, the company pay out the death claim, and it was $250,000 because that person was conditionally insured.
Mm-hmm.
And our policies don't have a war or terrorism clause. So because of that, these her kids were left now with money, with at least $250,000. And it's amazing to see how just one night make a difference in that family's future.
That's amazing. And the fact that it was able to go through, even though, it all wasn't complete in some sense, but it was because it was all the paperwork had been signed and etc.
Correct.
And of course that there's a process there.
Yeah.
What a blessing for that family.
Yep. That's a
Yeah.
huge difference.
And tell us a little bit about this terrorism clause that you just mentioned.
Yeah, so most insurance companies have many clauses, of course. And this specific clause says that if you die as an act in the act of terrorism or war,
Mm-hmm.
that policy won't pay. But
Mm.
our policies, Primerica, don't have that terrorism clause. So basically, many policies were paid out during 9/11. And That's basically why this
Wow.
we were able to pay.
Well, that's really important. I'm going to look at our audience right now and say, go check on your current policy and
Yes,
see if that exists, if you have the terrorism clause or if you don't. And if you don't, you've got to reach out to Lina right away
yeah,
and talk
yeah,
to her because, nobody expected 9/11, right?
of course.
Nobody expected it. So that's really important. And thank you for sharing that because, that differentiates, the policies that you write, that you do versus others. So
Yes.
people can check that out and talk to you and get educated more on that. So this has been great, and I want to keep talking just a little bit, even though we're going more than we said. There's something called a financial needs analysis that you provide. And I want you to just talk briefly about that before we wrap up.
Yeah, absolutely. So we provide to our clients a complementary, it's called financial needs analysis, but in other words, it's the GPS for your finances.
Okay.
So we put a plan together where we start educating the families of the importance of having protection on your income. So the foundation of building your financial plan is to protect that income. And then we go from there, obviously seeing if you have debt. We will put a plan together to pay off debt, how much money you will need for retirement. Like we call it a FIN number, your financial independence number. What is that target that you want to reach? We also include how much money you will need for your children's education. And obviously any toys and goals and dreams that you will like, a new house, a new boat, whatever you like, right? So that's the way we kind of like build the financial needs analysis, and it's complementary, confidential, and customized for each customer.
That's wonderful because that person who has that dream of getting anything, a house, car, whatever it is, and they feel stuck, this can help them actually achieve that and not worry about that bill for that life insurance policy, even because you're talking about how people just think, oh, it's just another bill, but what an important bill it is, right?
Yeah, we include budgeting and all these little
that's
things that
amazing.
people need.
That's amazing. And I know you've helped a lot of people. I know you've helped clients of mine. I know you've helped me. So I am just like such a proponent for you actually speaking to everybody out there about this. I mean, who thought that talking about life insurance would be so juicy? I just want to keep going. Oh gosh. Lina, this has been amazing. I think you've given our audience enough to realize the importance of life insurance and enough to know that they've got to pick up the phone and call, especially if they don't have it, and find out what's going on with their own policies, because I'm sure you can analyze it, because you actually analyzed my policy that I had,
remember.
And I changed.
And I can tell you so many times where I have seen policies that are like, let's say, just accident policies, so it won't pay anything if they were sick. Like so many cases where that policy is not real protection for the client.
Yeah, you really should. I mean, you were a lifesaver for me, like in terms of when and the thing about it, Lina, I just want to let everybody know. She said to me, Tanya, call your current insurance company, life insurance company, and ask them these questions, just so that you can see what I'm saying and find out for yourself if it's true. And every question I asked, everything Lina said,
they say the same thing. Yes.
Yeah. And I was like, why do I have to?
Yeah, but again, it's a lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge. But I did lean in. Yay. I leaned in inside of my ignorance. Well, Lina, just tell everybody how they can reach you, please. What's the best way?
Well, the best way will be calling me or texting me. Definitely my cell phone. I always answer the phone. You want me to give my phone number?
Sure, yeah? Sure.
So my number is 954-816-0967, or they can also email me and you can put my email.
I will. I'll be putting all of your contact information, including your social media, because it would be great for them to follow you on, on social media, because it's always, that's how a lot of the ways I stay connected with you too. Yeah.
Definitely.
But, Lina, Amazing. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for having a juicy talk about life insurance.
Yes, who would have thought that life insurance will be so nice to
I
talk?
know, right? And I really appreciate you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for coming, and looking forward to talking with you again. But thank you so much for giving everyone out there an education.
Thank you for the opportunity again, Tanya. It was a pleasure.
My pleasure. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. That was really a great interview with Lina, and she shed so much light and gave so much information that I'm sure that you feel the same way. And the best way to reach Lina is to call her 954-816-0967. 954-816-0967, and the rest of her contact information is right here for you, just in case you want to reach out to her any other way. Follow her on social media as well. And of course, you know it. If you are buying or selling a home or have a friend or family member who is, who do you call? Tanya. Because we wear the hats to bring you the facts.